peak brightness of HDR content. Cut. M2 Pro MacBook Pro 14 inches. The best laptop of 2023? Let's find it out. Okay, so for me, M1 Pro MacBook Pro 16 inches was by far the best laptop experience I had. But there is one big issue, and that is it's quite big, it's heavy, and not for somebody who loves to do the work on the go. I started using my 12.9 inches iPad or the OG M1 MacBook Pro 13 inches for traveling purpose, but they were not able to manage my workflow that well. So I needed something more powerful, having the same portability as that of 13 inches M1 MacBook Pro or my 12.9 inches iPad. And the answer to that was M2 Pro MacBook Pro 14 inches, and I got it in space gray and the base specs. I'm using it since a month as my primary laptop, and I feel it's the perfect laptop in 2023. It has a trade-off combination of portability and performance. Travel with it or be in a static environment. It will make you fall in love with it. When you pick this Mac in your hand, you feel dense, confident, sturdy laptop with no creaking sound, unlike other PCs or laptops that you might have held in your hands. It's an all-metal body, and the material used are quite good. Even the charging cables match the colors you choose. A great touch indeed. Every cuts and crease is quite plush and aesthetically better than the older designs, which were actually sharp at the edges. And the best thing about any MacBook is you can just open with one thumb. It's quite reassuring. And the moment you do, you see this plush all black keyboard, which is the best part I like about this Mac. And typing on it, it's just a luxury with the perfect key travels, feedback, and typing sounds. The next thing you might notice is the notch on the display, which actually disappears when you use it in most of the apps and softwares. But it's the best place to hide that mouse pointer magically. But this is a notch without a Face ID, and this Mac has Touch ID, which works 100% of the times. It has a huge trackpad, and if you compare with any of the Windows PCs, you'll feel it. And also, it works more precisely, consistently better than any trackpad in any laptop. And maybe you don't know that the trackpad doesn't get physically clicked. Rather, it creates a right feedback sensation, which makes you feel every time that it is getting clicked. It's a force touch trackpad that is quite useful if you hard press any of the links, files, or even any word for a quick meaning. Overall, the design and the build quality of this Mac is just awesome, and it will age well. Okay, so talking about the speakers, this is the best speakers I have heard in any laptop. The right bass, the right mids, and the right treble. Listen it for yourself. Even the mics and the camera are really good. See it for yourself.
Okay, so do you know the first MacBook Pro was launched in May 2006, and for the first time it used the Intel dual-core processor. Before the name MacBook, it was known as iBooks and PowerBook, and I feel the voice quality and the camera is doing a decent job in this MacBook Pro.
Now, talking about the proness, if that word exists, this Mac has quite a lot of ports, like 3 USB-C Thunderbolt ports, one 3.5mm jack, an HDMI port, an SDXC card slot. Means that you can have a lot of peripherals attached to this MacBook Pro. The specifications of this MacBook Pro are really pro. 10 core CPU, 16 core GPU, 16 GB unified memory, 1600 nits of peak brightness for the HDR content, 120 Hz Pro Motion display. Okay. Reading specifications like this won't make sense to you, right? So let me put it in perspective and explain you with my workflow. Let's talk about the performance and the battery. So to understand any workflow in any tech gadget, you need to understand that either you are a consumer or a creator or somewhere something in between. That means either you consume content or you create content, or you are somewhere in between. So my workflow is more towards the creator side, and it can be divided into three parts. Number one, content creation. Number two, coder. Number three, editing. So while writing any content for my next video or the next blog, I open Safari for researching on my topic, Apple Music for making me focused at work, Pomodoro timer for deep work sessions, and Notion, where all the script of the video and the blog is finally compiled, completed, and published. If I do only this kind of work, the battery will last around 10 to 11 hours. And the best part is everything runs smooth with fans never kicking in and no heat whatsoever. Even you do your work on your bed with a blanket. Now the second part of my workflow is coding, which is something I've just started. So I'm a total beginner in coding. So I am learning Swift and using Xcode. I read my iOS course from the Apple books, use Playgrounds and Xcode for running some basic coding Hello World apps on the simulator. And not to forget, Apple Music always is again there to keep me focused with a Pomodoro timer. If I only do this kind of work, the battery will last around 8 to 9 hours. Again, it never gets hot and everything is buttery smooth. I'm sure making heavy apps in future and compiling them can make this Mac a little hot and can reduce half or 1 hour from the battery. But I'm sure on that performance will not take any hit. Now come the toughest work in my workflow, editing. I use Final Cut Pro for doing any kind of editing. All my footages are 4K 60 FPS. So generally there are 4 to 5 layers, including roughly 2 layers of the videos, 1 of the voiceover, 1 text and some transitions, and some sound effects and background sound. I don't use any proxy or any low quality playback of the video. So everything runs quite smooth with little bit of lag here and there, which I feel is not an issue at all. Time taken for exporting a video with the highest quality of HEVC 10-bit Dolby Vision. For a 10-minute video, it takes around 20 to 25 minutes. And in those 20 to 25 minutes, parallelly, I work on my thumbnail on the Canva. This all makes Mac hot, but still no fans kicking in. I really doubt, does this Mac has a fan or not? The battery takes toll and the backup is around 2.5 to 3 hours. And I've seen the activity monitor that the CPU usage is always around 70% and often goes above 100% as well. I'm currently using Final Cut Pro 10.6.7 and I've recently noticed this activity monitor and high drainage of the battery. It might be a software issue. Let's wait for Apple to rectify it. The normal ideal battery drain in this MacBook is 2 to 3% overnight. And if you log off or shut it down, then it will be hardly 1%. There's only one issue that I've felt while using this MacBook is while doing any work and Apple Music on always on my AirPods and a call comes, then the Apple Music doesn't stop automatically and the sound that it comes is a non-equalized mono sound, which is really irritating to my ears. It's like a cacophony. I've checked on internet, not sure what is this issue, if it is specific to my Macs, but whatever Macs I've used in my life till now, I've faced the same issue in every Mac. Apple, if you are watching, do you have any answer for it? The battery charging takes less than 2 hours when charged with a 67 watt charger, and you can also charge with 96 watt charger, which might take around 1.5 hours. Overall, the performance and the battery is just amazing, like all the Apple Silicon MacBooks. If we talk about the display, it's just mind blowing. This screen is very color accurate. It is the best screen for doing any color correction for your video. The viewing angles are also great, no issue with that. And by far the best display on any laptop that works with consistency. Watching anything on the OTT with your headphones on, or even without that, it's a treat to your ears and eyes. Reading anything is effortless and there is no pixelation whatsoever. And my favorite, 120Hz ProMotion display. While you shift from one window to another flawlessly, even scrolling on any type of content on Safari or any other app, it feels premium. And this is something again I'm saying, you can just feel it when you use it. The brightness of this screen is also very good, and especially the HDR content, it goes up to 1600 nits. For normal content, it is 1000 nits, and in broad daylight sunlight, there is zero issues with this display. Now let's understand the pricing of this MacBook Pro. But before that, let me tell you that the base model is the best value for money. Its price is 2 lakhs or 2000 US dollars, which is a great buy. And if you're a student, you can get easily 8 to 10% off. And on Amazon, generally it is 8 to 10% off. And in sale periods, you can get more offers. With every change in SSD or unified memory, there is price attached to it. For example, if you go with 1 terabyte, you have to pay 20,000 Indian rupees or $200 extra. If you go with the 2 terabyte version, then you have to pay 60,000 rupees or $600 extra from the base model. Also, there's a price attached if you spec up the CPU or the GPUs, and it varies from 30,000 to 70,000 or $300 to $700. If you spec up the unified memory, that is RAM, the range of increment is from 40,000 to 1,20,000 or $400 to humongous $1,200. Before buying and finalizing your spec, I feel you should consider the benchmark of whatever workflow I have told you and then take an informed decision. If still you are confused and you don't know what to buy or how to spec up your MacBook, drop in your query in the comment section and I will definitely revert to that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.